the director, my good friend Professor Kamakoti, Mr. Kaviraj Nair, the Chief Executive Officer of the Office of Institutional Advancement, my friend the Dean in charge of Alumni and Corporate Relations, Professor Mahesh Panchangula, distinguished guests, many award winners, senior executives of corporations large and small. Thank you very much for inviting me to this event. I'm very happy to be a part of it, and I'm very happy to have had some role in giving away these well-deserved awards. I must first thank the organizers of this event. Professor Kamakoti sent me a request saying that you should be our guest of this occasion. Pick any day between 10 and 20, and we'll make it that day. So, I can't expect a better kindness than that. I picked a particular day, they gave me a particular time, I was all set to come. And then I got a call saying that I have to be in Madurai for a political meeting. And so I have to take 3:40 flight. The time I was supposed to be here was 3 to 4:30. So I had to call and say, even though I picked the date, please change the time for me. So they switched it to 12 to 1:30. And I got a call saying that the Chief Minister is going to open a new IT park in my department, and you have to be at the Secretariat at 12 o'clock. So then I had to ask for the time to be changed again from 1 to 2:30. And then when I finally arrived at 1 o'clock, I said, let's please have a little lunch before we go to the event. And after I sat down, I realized I was the only person eating, because they'd already all eaten. But anyway, I just go to say how kind they have been, and so how grateful I am for their kindness. But I consider it a privilege to be here, because I think even in a state where we pride ourselves on the universality of education and the fact that we have been doing this relatively well for 100 years, being the defining variable that has marked our relative progress economically, socially, developmentally, we still consider IIT to be the crown jewel of our academic institution. And IIT has had many eminent people run it, be it teachers, be it students, be it alumni. But I'm particularly happy that in the tenure of Professor Kamakoti, a son of the soil of Tamil Nadu, the inclusion agenda of ensuring that government school students, that those who can ill afford to pay but have the talent, have been encouraged and welcomed in, as well as the extent of efforts that IIT has taken to improve the functioning of the school education department of Tamil Nadu, I think are commendable. And so, I think his tenure will go down as one that transformed the connectivity between IIT and the broader community and the state of Tamil Nadu. At some other level, I must say I'm probably the wrong guy, or I was the wrong guy to be called to this function, because back when I was at business school, my term paper for the communications class was arguing against the notion that corporates should care about anything other than maximizing shareholder return. I said it for a different reason. I said, who appoints you, God? The shareholders invested their money in you because you said this was your agenda, to run this business and to deliver superior results. If you start deciding other people's what's right for society, what's right for community, what's right for social good and all that, nobody appointed you God. The world takes care of that. Elected officials take care of that. So you should just focus on your day job and stop building empires and creating a compounded agency problem for those of you who studied finance. But as Keynes once said, when the facts change, we have to change our minds. And so after coming to India and profoundly realizing the limitations of government in execution, in fact I would say almost in design, after a few years of as a minister and 2 years, effectively in charge of all the administrative departments of government, I can say that we have deep structural flaws in the way government is set up and run. Therefore, I think the reality is that if we didn't have NGOs, if we didn't have CSR, if we didn't have corporates reaching out to fill the gaps, we would actually have much worse outcomes than we do now. I say this every time I'm invited to places like the Rotary Club, where incidentally very recently I had the good fortune of giving Professor Kamakoti a Lifetime Achievement Award for one of the I say it also in large corporates and in institutions like IIT. CSR is a huge amount of money. Mr. Nair was just telling me that it's of the scale of 35,000 crores or about $4 billion a year. I think, of course, there are many initiatives. In my constituency, HDFC Bank is represented here. They did a bunch of work 2 years ago, helping me set up smart classrooms in every government school. Power Finance Corporation has been doing some work. So I've been the beneficiary of some CSR work. I mean, not me personally, but my constituency, and mostly the schools, because I practice what I preach, and I think education, particularly education of the lowest economic strata, is really where the multiplier effect is very high.